Uh, Good evening. Namaste. Sat Shri Akal.
Namaste. Good evening.
Srikal sir, how are you?
Thank you for joining us on Saturday. How are you doing today, Dr. Saggu?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you for receiving me here.
Oh, no, no, no. It's a nice, quiet day, but cold here. It's very, very cold. Um, we're not used to this in May, and so it's kind of caught me off guard. So,
Yeah, yeah. You know
um,
that God is very kind to us. Yeah, God is becoming very kind to us.
he is.
So at one place He has given us the COVID, and another place He has given us the pure air, pure environment, good nature, greenery. You
It's healthy again. The earth is healthy, and it's rejoicing.
healthy.
I think
And
it's
I think
rejoicing.
each and everyone is enjoying the environment right now. Be they are human beings, animals, birds, and I think this is the best part. And this is all across the world. It's not about India, but all across the world. And
Yeah, no,
you know
yeah.
that there was the news that from Bihar you can see Himalayas.
Yes, yes, yes. There is a news that at so many places from even from Punjab, from
Yeah,
Bihar, you can see the Himalayas. And
yeah.
to, to my surprise, who I have seen a tiger family on the road
What?
in New
Where?
Delhi.
Oh my gosh.
Yes,
Wow.
yes,
Oh
yeah. So
my gosh. How
there is a
beautiful.
one tiger with tigers and one baby tiger. So three of them they were roaming on the road near Dholakua and Kent area. So
Wow.
you know the
That's
animals they
crazy.
So
lot of
they are coming back to their own houses after so many years.
yeah. Yes, yes. They think that this place is for them
Yeah.
because yeah, we actually stole from them and now they are getting it
They're
back.
taking it back.
But I'll tell you one more
Lot
thing.
of
I mean, Kim must not be able to understand how Delhi is all about. But there are a lot of peacock in Delhi right now.
yes, yes, yes. I have seen lot of peacocks on the road. Yeah,
Yeah,
peacocks are there, chirping of the
yeah.
birds are there.
How beautiful, right? How beautiful.
And it
We've
never
got
happened. In my dream, in my dream, there was a bird came and he was asking me that now it's your time to wear mask because it's our world and we will be outside and you have to stay at home
wow. we
Yeah,
so we're in
because
the cages.
because because in such a good environment we are still at home wearing masks and those birds they can fly anywhere they are enjoying the environment.
So
yeah, yeah.
we're the zoo. We're in the zoo and they're looking at us. Look, kids. Look, see
Yeah.
what happens when you are not good?
And
Yeah.
also they are saying that this is not your world, this is our world.
Our world, that's
That's
right.
what they
Definitely, definitely. This word belongs to everybody, to the
yeah,
animals, to the nature, to the human beings, also everybody. So we are just the part of the word, and
yeah,
we become the owner of the word. So that
yeah,
is not right. At least the
yeah.
nature has to come and yeah,
And also we were talking about the lands and the who is having those oceans, South China Sea and North China Sea, and the lands and
yeah,
all those things. I think we are fighting about those things. And if we talk about a world like a family, I think we are in good hands. And
yeah,
I think we need to just be productive, be
yeah,
like one.
That's right. That's right. We need to
yeah,
love,
yeah,
protect, unite, and count our blessings. And
yeah,
because at the end of the day, if we don't have all of this and we're not positive about it, we're just going to die out. You know,
yeah,
nature will survive.
yeah.
Nature will survive.
Certainly.
And I think we need to
If
become humble.
so, we can say that you can only survive if you let the nature survive.
Yeah.
You can
So
only survive if you let the nature survive.
But you have to respect it, and
Yeah,
I've been kind of joking about it a little bit too. Every time I go out, I go look, the turtles are still coming out, and they come on their log, right? And
yeah,
I'm sitting there, and I pretend like the mama's telling them now, stay away from those humans. They have a disease, because we
yeah,
always say, stay away from those turtles. They make you sick,
yeah,
right? So I'm always making little comic strips about nature. The deer have animals have no boundaries, right? They
yeah,
don't know, and that's what I tell people. When we start building on their property and we build a fence, they don't know that fence. To them, that's just I'm going through there. A bear's just going to go through a fence, right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
a lion or a tiger, they don't know boundaries, and nature
Yeah.
does. So yeah, it's interesting. It really is. We have a lot of deer out here, and I don't feed them. They naturally take care of themselves, but a lot of people feed them to attract more of them. I'm particularly not happy with a lot of them because they will eat everything in your yard, including your rose bushes, my favorite flowers. But I've been enjoying them, watching them come out of the woods peacefully and quietly. I think they're not understanding why it's so quiet. They just,
Yeah.
because the school, well, we have 2 schools around. We have 5 schools on this street, and school's not in session. They're not used to that. They actually got used to people.
Yeah.
We have fox, we have foxes, we have coyote, we have what else do we have? Bobcats out
Yeah.
here. But I would love to see a peacock walking down the street.
Yeah.
We
Maybe
don't
maybe
have
tomorrow
that.
I'll record a video. Yeah.
National bird of
Maybe
India.
tomorrow I'll record a video for the peacocks.
I
Yes,
would
yes.
love it.
And you won't
Yeah.
believe King Peacock is very culturally involved with India from ancient times. If you
Yeah.
watch out all our mosque and all our heritage properties, you'll find peacocks all around.
Wow.
Yeah.
And peacock is a national bird. It's a national bird.
It's a national Indian bird. Yeah. Indian national bird. Yeah.
It's a good national bird. Peacock has a semblance of royalty. So,
Yeah.
and the feathers were very sacred to
And you
many.
won't believe when you talk about feathers, we use it at our holy places. Especially one of our popular
Very
gods in
sacred.
India, God Krishna, he used to have that peacock feather on his
Yeah.
crown.
Yeah. Yeah. So
peacock is that.
even I mean this is seems to be a very very holy bird, and we used to keep in our notebooks
Yeah.
the peacock feathers. We used to keep it in our notebooks so that this feather seems to be a good luck for you, so that you can
Yeah.
have a lot of knowledge. So maybe
I
this
have one
this
feather.
was this
I'll bring that feather right now. I'll
this
bring
this
that feather.
yeah, this was the symbol of the knowledge earlier. Yeah, now the students are not keeping it there, but in our time we used to keep it in our notebooks. Yeah.
No, and I used to, if you could collect a peacock feather, it was the same thing, but it resembled, sacredness, royalty, beauty.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
most beautiful feather. It really is. I mean, think about just the uniqueness and design of it. Another
Yeah.
popular feather in our community is the eagle feather.
Eagle. Yeah. Eagle feather is very popular. Yeah.
And we had it's weird. We have a lot of hawks around here, but yesterday I saw an eagle flying by. I haven't seen an eagle out this way in a long time. So
Yeah.
I'm interested to see if the eagle has built a nest in this vicinity. But again,
Yeah.
I've not seen an eagle in many, many years. Hawks, a lot of hawks, a lot of crows, but not eagles. So this is,
Yeah.
nature is taking over. This is cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is very cool. So, what else have you been doing besides enjoying the new evolution of nature?
Yeah. So evolution of nature, it plays a very good role. If we talk about the immunity also, for the development of the good immunity, the nature plays a very important role. And the evolution of nature, which we have seen, actually we spoil the nature ourselves. By a lot of traffic is there, a lot of smoke, industrial smoke is there. Our policies are not good. They are not in favor of the nature. So actually, we spoil the nature. The nature has to be cleansed now. If you want a good immunity, if you want to fight against this COVID era, you should have a clean environment and good immunity.
No, and I think if we're just going to have a good health again, we're going to have a clean environment and immunity. And
Yeah.
I think respecting nature again is going to help. I'm interested in seeing reentry, how nature's going to react to that, because right now, like you said, they're used to walking down the streets now. Nobody's there, so why not, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So-
what are the Ah, there we go.
Yeah.
So
That's beautiful.
this is we have created and put it in our temple, small temple, and we just do like this to our God.
With a fan. But that's one of the more
Yeah.
beautiful ones I've seen
So,
because
yeah, lot of things being said about the peacock. It was also considered to be bird of protection and the safeguarding. So the feather of the peacock, it protects from the evil eye and destroy all the negative like anger, greed, and jealousy. So this is the feather which it was said that Lord Krishna used to clean the feet of the Holy Radha.
oh
So
wow.
it has lot of importance in Indian history.
Well, I think too, it's just so beautiful. And there's my friend Rakesh. Hi. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
I think Rakesh must be having more knowledge about the peacock feather because he's from down south and he's traveling to a lot of countries and he's been a lot of countries. So we were discussing about the peacock feather and how peacock feather is very well used in our holy Bible and in holy places,
Yeah,
especially Krishna.
it's used, but I'm not deep into this religious. So
yeah, he
sorry.
doesn't get into. He's kind of like me, he's got his religious beliefs, but it's not what most. But the peacock feather has in
It's very
every country.
beautiful. That's all
Yeah.
I.
It's
so
just
lovely.
beautiful too. But in many religions, it is a very sacred feather, and in many uh, communities, it is a symbolism of royalty, leadership. Mainly because of its beauty. And but the one Ankit has, I've never seen one quite so feathery and beautiful. Like that's real pretty. Um, Usually they're a little bit thinner than that here. So
We have bigger ones as well, like
oh, wow.
2 to 3 feet tall as well. So there are
Yes.
different feathers and people use it for different. I mean,
It's
for prayers and for things like that.
that Krishna used to wear it in his tiara, or whatever. Yes.
In the crown, yeah.
Proud
That's
as a peacock, right? And then we say proud as a peacock. What can we take away from a peacock's lifestyle and healthiness?
It's the one animal that the cobra fears.
Really?
Yes, because it can pick out the eyes of the cobra even faster than the cobra can react. It is so
Really?
deadly. Yes.
The peacock is considered to be is a more concentrated bird. So its concentration is very much. That's why it can pick the eye of the cobra. So
Yeah.
if you see the coolness, if you see the destruction of negativity, you see the destruction of the anger, if you see the destruction of the jealous, yes, peacock is there.
Wow.
So yeah, it is one of the things. I didn't know that myself till my father told me. That because my grandfather, for some reason, kept a pet cobra.
Okay.
Okay.
I never heard about the pet cobra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was an Ayurvedic physician.
Okay.
So he used to actually use the venom to make some
Yeah, because the cobra venom is very important. A lot of people in the Ayurvedic medicine, they use the cobra venom.
cobra venom. So I never met my grandfather. He died before I was born. But this is what my father said. So I have no reason to disbelieve it. But this is what
They use the and I think it's the cobra venom too in the flea and tick medicines for dogs and cats.
Yes.
From what I'm told, that it's the cobra venom that they put in the flea and tick medication. So yeah, the cobra, I guess, brings a lot. But I think I would be the one that has a bunch of peacocks if I live where cobras live. Just like geese. Snakes don't like geese, right? Geese, for whatever reasons, fear a lot of the local snakes. So, and geese are great guard dogs, actually, because they don't like strangers.
Very territorial. Very territorial. Yeah.
So if if I were going to keep any kind of poultry of any kind, but now it's going to be peacock. It would be what a peacock. But geese is another one of those because I'm not a snake fan. You know, I'm sorry, the venom is a little too dangerous for me. And
me neither, because the king cobra, which my grandfather used to keep, is actually aggressive. So I do not. My grandfather, I don't know how he did it. Frankly.
Well, let's talk about some healthier, more fun subjects now. So let's talk about, Dr. Saggu, one of the reasons why we like having you is just talking about some of the things that we can do to improve our health. I mean, you see patients day in and day out, and you probably think to yourself, wow, there are some things that we could really do to improve our lives and our quality of life, which is something I focus on. Everything I have to do, I look at the quality of life, weighing the risk versus the benefits. But what are some of the things that you are noticing today as we move forward after COVID, not just for COVID, but what we can be doing?
Kim, if we talk about the destruction of the nature which we have already done, and the type of the food which we consume, and the type of the lifestyle which we live, so all these things, they actually lead to the metabolic syndrome now. So there is urbanization, there is a surplus energy intake, there is increasing obesity and sedentary lifestyle. So these all things, they causes the metabolic syndrome. What is the metabolic syndrome? So metabolic syndrome is a syndrome of several things which causes 5-fold increase in the risk of development of diabetes mellitus and 2-fold increased risk of developing cardiovascular diseases. So there is a lot of physiological, biochemical, clinical, metabolic factors which causes the metabolic syndrome and leads the patient the risk of atherosclerotic cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, and all these things can lead to mortality. So we talk only about COVID-19, we don't talk about the metabolic syndrome. So this is such a worst condition which can lead to lot many things, and it includes obesity also. So basically, this is unhealthy body measurements with abnormally laboratory tests like atherogenic dyslipidemia. You have a high cholesterol level, high triglyceride level, there is a hypertension, there is an impaired glucose tolerance, there is a pro-inflammatory state and pro-thrombotic state, which can lead to sudden cardiac failure also. So if we talk about International Diabetic Federation, when they define metabolic syndrome, they defined it as a central obesity. You have a central obesity, the waist circumference for the females, it may be more than 103, and for males, it may be more than 87. So in the males, we can say it's more than 40 inches, and in females, more than 35 inches. With any of two conditions, there may be a high triglyceride level, more than 150. There is a reduced HDL cholesterol, there is a good cholesterol, less than 40 in male and less than 50 in females. There may be raised blood pressure, systolic more than 30 and diastolic more than 85, and raised blood sugar level more than 100. So out of these four, with the central obesity, if you have two of these, then it defined as a metabolic syndrome. And if your BMI is more than 30, then you become a candidate of central obesity. So if we know about the metabolic syndrome, then we can control this, and it is worldwide. That worldwide prevalence of this metabolic syndrome, it ranges from less than 10% to 84%, depending on the geographic area, rural environment, composition of age, sex, race, ethnicity, according to the population. And if we talk about the US, around 30 to 35% people of the American population, they are suffering from metabolic syndrome.
That's,
So
keep going.
in general, if you talk about, according to the IDF, around 1/3 or 1/4 world's population is having metabolic syndrome. You have a higher socioeconomic status, sedentary lifestyle, high BMI, they are associated with the metabolic syndrome. So now, what are those factors, what are those pathways which causes the metabolic syndrome? There may be insulin resistance, there may be visceral adiposity, there may be atherogenic dyslipidemia, there may be genetic susceptibility, high blood pressure, your blood is very thick, hypercoagulable state of the blood. There may be chronic stress. So all these factors, they lead to metabolic syndrome. So the first factor, if we talk about how abdominal obesity leads to metabolic syndrome. So, we have a high calorie intake. What is obesity? When we take high calories and there is no destruction of the calories, we don't consume those calories, we don't work out, we don't have a physical activities, but we are taking surplus amount of the calories, and your positive balance of the calories is there. It will lead to your fat cell to hypertrophy, like the size of the fat cell, it increases, plus number of the fat cell also increases. So there would be adipocyte hypertrophy along with the hyperplasia. So when your fat cell is going to grow like this, they are going to press the vessels. There are blood vessels which supply the blood to the fat cells. When the fat cell is going to increase, because of the increased pressure on the vessels, there is a decreased blood flow to the fat cells. And because of the reduced blood flow to the fat cells, so there may be destruction of that fat cell, increase in the macrophages and the inflammation over there, increase in the adipocytokine secretion, and because of that, we see the localized inflammation. Sometimes you see the person is obese and the fat is hanging, so suddenly there is a slightly redness over that area, and because of the redness, we say it is a dependent edema. It is a localized inflammation, and slowly this localized inflammation becomes a systemic inflammation, that your whole body has an inflammation. And that part, when there is systemic inflammation, all parts of body have inflammation, and it also involves almost all of your organs, then it becomes metabolic syndrome. So lot of things, they are being secreted, like free fatty acid is also being secreted from the adipocyte when there is inflammation, and TNF alpha is also there, interleukin 6 is there, CRP is there, and PI1 is there. All these things, what they did, leptin is also there. So all these things, what they do, they compete with the insulin to act on the adipocyte. So the insulin is being secreted from the pancreas, but that insulin is not active to act upon the fat cells or adipose tissues or the target cell from where the glucose is being taken into the cell. So because of that, the insulin become inactive. So that is another condition where the insulin resistance is there. So then insulin resistance develops, and then you are more prone to have a diabetes. So normally what happens when there is a high blood glucose level, so there is the release of the insulin from the beta cell of pancreas, and your blood is being taken into the cells, and the glucose level in the vessels in the blood goes down. So this is a normal position. But when you are taking a lot of fat, saturated fat, I'm talking about saturated fat, you are taking a lot of calories. So what these calories are being deposited on the cellular membrane of the fat cells, and they compete with the insulin. Insulin is not able to work upon on the tyrosine receptors. So that is the inactivity of the insulin. And when there is the inactivity of the insulin, your glucose level goes up. And as the back pressure in the liver, the glucose is also going up, and they are converting into the lipoproteins, or they are converting into, you can say, the triglyceride and the VLDL, that is the increased cholesterol level. So
wow.
yeah. So how this obesity and this insulin resistance is deteriorating or destructing your cells, or increase the level of the blood glucose level, and increase the level of the glucose in your liver and the muscle cell, and increasing the level of triglycerides. So all these conditions, they are interlinked, right? So that is why if we can prevent one thing, we can prevent all the things.
No, that's very impactful. The thing is I think what we need to do is talk about how we can stage ourselves into rebuilding our bodies. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if this has anything to do completely with everything you're talking about, but one of the rises in one of the diseases I noticed here in the US is Crohn's disease. To me, that has a lot to do with our our digestive system, our stomachs, and everything. Does that have anything to do with what we're talking about as well? Because there's
Yeah. The- yeah, Crohn's disease is also inflammatory condition of your digestive system. So when there is a multiple ulcers, they are developing in the large intestine, that is the colon, and throughout the large intestine. Even you can say your intestine is very long, around you can say it's a 3 to 4 meters, and the whole of the colon is the large intestine is 4 meters, and small intestine is around 6 to 10 meters. So whole of the large intestine is being covered by the ulcers, and the patient have a frequent diarrhea and the frequent bleeding in the stools. So this is also inflammatory condition, and we are the very big reason for this. Our diet is the big reason for this. What we are doing, we are eating like ultra processed diet. We are eating saturated fat. All this condition, they are going to flush the good bacteria in your digestive system. We have millions of good bacteria in the digestive system. They plays a big role in your immunity also, and in your health of your digestive system also. So when we are going to flush out all those things, then they are not there to protect our digestive system. Those bacteria, they are not present to protect our body also from the invasion by the bacteria and the viruses. Your immunity goes down also. So for that, we need to have a lot of probiotic. So now there is a fashion that we are not taking any probiotic. We are not eating yogurt, but we are taking a lot of sugar. So if your diet is good, your diet is healthy, you are not taking much simple sugars, you are not taking saturated fat, you are taking a lot of proteins, you are taking a lot of probiotics, you are taking all essential vitamins and the minerals. I think you can have a healthy digestive system, you can have a healthy good bacteria in your digestive system, you can have a good immunity, then only you can fight against all these conditions.
Yeah, and I think that you're right about that. Just a question, for whatever reason they can't get it posted on. They wanted to know, is when you're talking about the foods, the probiotics and things like that, is there a particular time of day, like yogurts and things like that, that is more beneficial for us to eat these items? Because I always see these diets and they do, oh, don't eat anything after 7. Well, that could be, if I'm in a different country, that's not going to be right. Is there like when you get up, should you eat certain foods later in the day, eat certain foods, and then by evening, is there
Yeah,
anything?
yeah, sure. Everything acts when you are very disciplined. You know, if you are going to your school, if you are not disciplined, you may have a punishment, right? If you are working in an office, if you are not disciplined, you may have a punishment. So whatever reason, if you are not a compliant or you are a disciplined, it is not good. Same is with the digestive system. So if we talk about the metabolism, so it depends on the metabolism. Like some people, they take a lot of sugars and they are healthy. They are not putting weight because their metabolism is good. So the finally we need to keep our metabolism healthy. So there are certain times when your metabolism is good, like in the morning, if you take your breakfast between 7 to 8:30 or 9, it's good. If you take lunch between 1 p.m. and 2 p.m., it's good. If you take your dinner before 7 p.m., it is good, because at that time your metabolism is working, metabolism is healthy. So whatever you eat at that time, because your metabolism is good, you can digest all those things, then that will not be stored as a fat, so that will be metabolized very fast. So suppose if you take your dinner after 7 p.m. or after 8 p.m., at that time the metabolism is not good and you cannot digest your carbohydrate. So specifically we say, please don't take carbohydrate that was simple carbohydrate. That way, so you can have a complex carbohydrate, but simple carbohydrate cannot be digested after 7 p.m. So what is the simple carbohydrate? Simple carbohydrate, they are synthesized artificially. You can say they are extracted from the sugar cane, like sugar is there, like jaggery is there. So all these things, they are the simple carbohydrate, and it will be metabolized very easily and you will not feel full. So that is why you keep on eating. But the natural carbohydrate that present in the milk, dairy product, they are the natural carbohydrate. So they are good. Their metabolism becomes slow. So that is why they make you full. They make you feel full. So when you feel full, then you stop eating. So that is why these natural carbohydrates, they are very important. We should not be taking lot of simple carbohydrate. So after 7, metabolism is not good. That is why you can have a fruits, you can have a vegetables, but you cannot have a carbohydrate rich diet.
Wow. See, I didn't know that. All the studying and reading I do, and I had no idea. That's and to understand the difference between the simple high carbohydrate versus the natural. Um, can you give us another example of a good carbohydrate to eat at dinner?
So good carbohydrate is always a natural carbohydrate. Natural carbohydrate, they are good, and you can have a milk. You can have uh, uh, fruits also. The fruits also, they are good example of the fructose. So sucrose and the fructose, they are the good carbohydrate. And the processed diet have a lot of the combination of fructose and some other simple carbohydrates. So that is why you can have a plenty of fruits, you can have plenty of vegetables, you can plenty of milk. They are good.
Okay. So, and those are things I like anyway. Those are things it's a matter of adjusting when you eat things as opposed to cutting them out completely, right? I mean, you don't have to cut everything out, just adjust them. You can still have these things, just eat them at a better, different time, more disciplined. So it's hard to cut out all of the processed carbohydrates. Is there a good way to scale that? Do you have some suggestions to scaling how what's some good habits?
Yeah. So other example of good carbohydrate, we can say all type of vegetables. There are all type of fruits like apples, bananas, strawberries. All the berries, they are good. Whether it's the strawberry, it's the blueberry, blackberry, all berries, they are good. They're good source of natural carbohydrate. Legumes, lentils, beans, peas, nuts, almonds, walnuts, hazelnuts. All they are the sources of the good carbohydrate. Some seeds, chia seeds, they are now in fashion. So a lot of people, they are taking chia seeds. Chia seeds are good source of natural carbohydrate. Pumpkin seeds, they are good source of natural carbohydrate. You should take a whole grains that are good source of the natural carbohydrate. Like you have oats, quinoa, brown rice. They are the good sources of the good carbohydrate. The process,
I wouldn't think about some of those things, and those are things that maybe we can get a list of and keep them posted as a reminder. Just add them to your grocery list, and What about the gooseberry? Is it that what Aunt Kit is always telling me about, the gooseberry?
Yeah, gooseberries we call in Indian is amla. Gooseberry is amla, that is a good source of vitamin C. Yeah.
So, what about this, Dr. Saggu?
Sorry. Yeah. I can.
Yes, I have it.
Yeah.
Chyawanprash.
Yeah. Chyawanprash having a lot of things. Like it has energy. You can say it's an energy drink. A lot of herbs are there. Good carbohydrates are there. Some there are polyunsaturated fatty acids also there. So these all they have a combination of healthy diet, you can say.
And Chyawanprash is also having silver and gold as well.
Silver and gold. Okay.
So I would comment upon that. If there is a silver and the gold, you should know the percentage of the gold and the silver over there. Because if you are a kidney patient, if you have some other problems, then you have to avoid all these things, because any metal can damage your kidney. So if you are kidney disease, then don't take Chyawanprash or anything which is having a gold over there.
Okay, that could be a disclaimer, but generally.
No,
so your grains should not be stripped of the fiber. Yeah. You should take a whole grain. if your grains are stripped of the fiber, then it becomes refined on the simple carbohydrate. So at least you should have all the bran, fiber, and nutrients, everything which was there in the coating of that grains. So in spite of taking refined sugars, you should have a whole grain.
That sounds
And sir,
good.
how important is to avoid sugar? What are the sugar supplements we can use? Like we use good in India, and also we
Yeah.
use maple syrup. So what are the other supplements of sugar? Because I think sugar is something which causes a lot of things over a period of time.
So I gave the list of some fruits and the sources of the good carbohydrate. I don't think we should take any supplement containing the sugar, because any supplement which will contain, whether it is maple syrup or any other syrup or the sweeteners, they all have a processed carbohydrate, and the processed carbohydrate, they are not good.
And sir, what about honey?
Yeah, I was going to ask, what about honey?
Honey,
Because
honey. If you get a natural honey from your villages, that is good. But if you get processed honey, so that also contains some sweetness over there. So they actually add some sweetness over there, and those sweetness, they are the processed carbohydrate.
So
I
that
watched
means we have to go back to the villages and we have to create those natural foods for us so that we can avoid the
Yeah,
processed food. And that is good for
yeah.
us.
So
Sir, also I would like to know one more thing. Are we close enough to set up natural hospitals with all those natural medicines for immunity boosting? Can we do
yeah,
that in future?
there are some hospitals, Ayurvedic hospitals in New Delhi also. So they are working on this, but they are good if they remain as the Ayurvedic or the natural based hospital. But if they are mixing with some allopathy or some other things, or if they start, producing some products, processed product, you must be understanding that I'm talking about. So if you are going to produce or manufacture some of the products with the processed diet, that is not good. If you are keeping it is on the how based or some natural based, then it is good. And if you talk about the refined carbohydrate, simple carbohydrate, so that includes white flour. White flour is not good. It is simple, or you can
yes.
say refined carbohydrate, because we have stripped off the wheat, coat of the wheat. Then white bread is also there, white rice is there, pastries are there, soda, snacks, pasta, sweets, breakfast cereals, some added sweeteners. They all are the example of the simple or the refined sugar that is not good for our metabolism and for the health.
No, I agree.
Sir,
One of the
how
things,
about these kind of
Yeah, threptin.
protein?
Threptin is a high protein diet. The biscuits, they are having high proteins, but also they have some added sweetener there in the threptin. So try to have a natural sources of protein. We have, yeah, B12 is good. B12 is good.
I like,
I'm also thinking, yes, Kim, I just have one more question.
okay, go ahead.
So what I was thinking is that can we set up an immunity hospital way back in maybe near mountains where we can talk about immunity and people who wants to be far away from those city life, they can go there as a vacation and they can only focus on their health, and it's kind of a hospital where we'll diagnose and prevent from cure, and we'll talk about all natural foods and things like that. I'm not talking about
Yeah, that
natural
is
medicine, but a basic
yeah,
hospital which is at the mountainside where good weather and everything, and then we'll talk about preventions.
yes, that is a very good idea. And some of the hospitals, they are already there they are working there at Himalayas. Near the Himalayas, there are a lot of hospitals are there. They already set up the hospitals, and they are working on the immunity also. We can also do that. That
How
is not
important is the
that is not a
environment
bad.
of treating a patient? How important is the role of an environment to treat a patient? Because a patient who is suppose in Delhi and a patient who is in Himachal or who is in a good weather, so both are diabetic patients. So how important or what is the journey of both the patients?
I don't think if you can clear your environment, if you can purify your environment, you would be needing a medicine to cure the diabetes. So a pure environment, a pure air itself is a medicine for the diabetes. So if we are treating a patient in a good environment, in a healthy environment, in the pure air, right, in the you can say the lap of the nature. So I don't think we would be needing any type of medicine. The patient will itself will be cured. So diabetes only because we have spoiled the environment,
Okay.
right? So it is always good to have in the lap of the good nature to treat any kind of the patient.
I think you're right in that area too, about especially the diabetes and the processed sugars. One of the things I like to do, and I don't know if it's good or not, but instead of using sugar when I cook my oatmeals or maybe things to sweeten,
Yeah.
I chop up apples, right? And I cook the apples into the food, and use the sweet, because apples are very sweet, very, very
Yeah.
sweet. And I find I don't need to add any sugar or anything when I do that, right? When I chop them up really good and mix them with my food, I don't need a lot of sugar. So apples, other fruits that come with a lot of sugar, you know, but once you get used to that, eating something with sugar doesn't taste right. Like it hurts your mouth, you know?
You know what we do? We take fruit juices and again we add some sweetness over there. I don't think why fruit juice need a sweetener, because already the fruits they are sweet. Yeah.
It hurts my mouth when you start. So now, because I don't eat a lot of refined sugar or mix it, it hurts my mouth when I eat too much sugar. It doesn't feel right. But I still don't eat 100% healthy. Otherwise, I would be losing weight, and I'm right now putting on weight.
Yeah.
And I think it's because I'm not moving around enough during the day. I think I need more exercise. But I think this is a good healthy talk, because people do. I mean, Coke, that is the worst thing we could drink, right? Sweet tea. Have you ever been to the southern part of the United States? Sweet tea will kill you. Sweet tea has more sugar in it per glass than a bottle of Coke has. And so
if
it's crazy.
if we start eating for the health, it would be good. Now what we are doing, we are eating for the taste buds. We are not eating for the body or the health. We are eating for the taste buds.
Yeah, the
So taste buds,
endorphins, right? Happy endorphins. You know what made me really feel good one time? I had a high dose of B4. I've never done that before, but it was like adding endorphins to my body. But somebody gave me a highly concentrated B4, which I think is a lot of beets. My whole body felt energized. I kept asking them, did you put caffeine in here? There was no caffeine, there was no sugar. They used all natural foods to make the drink. It was like a shake, but like a bunch of fruits and vegetables mashed together.
It's a sort of smoothie.
Yeah.
Fruit smoothie. Yeah.
See, and I'm not a big one on that, because sometimes I feel like you get too much junk in them. But it made me feel really, really good, and it was highly concentrated in B4. Which do you know anything about B4? I never knew anything about it until I started drinking it, and I thought, wow, that felt good. But B12 is a happy drink.
Yeah.
D.
All B. It's a B4. It's a B1, B6, B12, and vitamin D. Then vitamin C, vitamin E. These all vitamins. They're important for the health.
Yeah, but I could just feel like naturally it just felt good. That's and I know that B12, the highest concentration. I think the highest concentration is beets for B4. But just thinking about these things and how good I felt when I ate them, I'm like, why am I not eating them more often? But they're hard to get. They're very, very. It's not just difficult to get. It's very expensive.
Yeah.
We're not incentivized to eat healthy. We're incentivized to eat junk. It's cheaper and easier to buy a box of potato chips. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dr. Saggu, can we create some kind of a food especially for obese people? Because we can see a lot of food which causes obesity. But what about the other way around? We can talk about healthy foods. We know all those things, but we don't have a food which serves to our body, which is tasty for birds and which is healthy for people, and it's easily available.
So we can titrate the diets. That is a titration of the diet that we can do. There is no problem. So we can give a combination of the healthy carbohydrate, combination of the healthy protein and the healthy fats, and inclusion of all the vitamins and the minerals. That can be done.
No, what I mean to say, can we create some kind of a food chain around the world with healthy food, like McDonald's, or maybe healthy Donald's with
Healthy.
I know. So
I have been asking that for years, Ankit. And nobody will do it. Nobody will do it.
yeah. So actually, the McDonald is the fat Donald, so we can make a health Donald against the fat Donalds. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. But for that, we need to have doctors. I mean, helping us doing it, because if doctors are not, satisfied or committed with the food, it's difficult for us to, market it.
Yes, we can always do that. Yeah, please.
No, Ankit, if you take a look at what built on every corner in the world, Starbucks. Why couldn't we have made a healthy food chain on every corner of the world instead of a Starbucks? And of course, everybody's going to hate me. They're going to send me hate letters. No, don't get rid of my Starbucks. Good morning.
Hi.
Hi. How's everyone doing? So here's one of the things that helps us with our happy endorphins, music, right? I think you all of these things, food, attitude, talking about it. I think, obesity took over the world in every country. Unfortunately, everybody wanted to be like the Westerns, and we made like Dr. Saggu said, we want to feed our taste buds instead of our bodies. What do you think about that, Alexandra?
No, it's actually really true, because it's everywhere. It's not just in America. Like I said, it's the whole world that is like that, I guess. And of course, we all love that taste. Whatever they put into it, it's really nice, right? But it's actually making a bit of a mental shift in your brain, really, to know that you have to feed your body, put the right things in it, and you are allowed to treat yourself. I don't think there's a problem in treating yourself, but you have to be aware of what your body needs to keep going, to keep your energy up, to keep yourself healthy, all the above, and that includes some sort of exercise, whatever it is, if it's walking, housework, whatever it is, making sure that you're listening to music that makes you happy, watching the right series, reading the right books, feeding your mind as well. I think all of that sort of it all kind of gets pulled into one.
Feeding the mind, feeding the body, feeding the soul. We talk about that too, just even if you're not a religious person, just learning to meditate and pray. And even if you find faith in yourself, that's important, is to find that peace, right?
Yes.
But Dr. Saggu has been bringing us some good sound mind, not just about fighting and protecting our bodies for COVID, but for everything. Because that's what's important, right? Nature's bounty. How about nature's essentials? We're going to change that. Nature's essentials, and the essentials, right? We keep talking about what's essential today. I hate that word. I really do. But when in doubt, fly.
Fill in the blanks. When in doubt, Dr. Saggu. When in doubt, dash.
Listen to your inner side.
Look at the other side. What does the other side say, Ankit?
Yeah. Listen to your inner side.
Listen to your inner side.
I like
what
that.
about Rakesh ji? When in doubt?
When in doubt, stop eating, I think.
When in doubt. Yeah, really. We talked about this too with Dr. Art, which would probably be a good conversation to have with Dr. Saggu about don't eat until you're full. Don't eat till you're full, right? Stop just before full. My son always says, when you feel hungry, drink a glass of water first, because odds are you're thirsty, right? But we don't think that. And I have a tendency of, going for a box of Cheez-Its when I'm like doing computer work and angry and need to not good.
So actually, the problem is, Kim, when you are hungry, you cannot read your brain whether you are real hungry or you are thirsty. So if you can have a water, that'll be all right.
Yeah.
So every time you are looking for some sugary, some sweetness, that is not good. Actually, you are thirsty. You are not hungry at that time.
So
Go
ahead.
So, sir, my family, a lot of people, they have a sugar bird. I mean, so they like to have sugar every time, whenever they can possibly want. But I don't like that sugar. I'm more towards salty. So I like nuts and I like those
So
spicy nuts of
that
different taste basically. So everyone has a different, I mean, enthusiastic in terms of, I mean, just getting something for their taste buds. Maybe they don't want to eat, but they, because of the taste, they just eat on or binge a lot of foods, and especially during lockdown. So
yeah.
how we can prevent those things?
Yeah, these are only the taste buds who are looking for the simple sugars.
Yeah,
So as I told you that you should have a natural sugar, and you rightly said all the nuts, all the legumes, all the seeds, milk and dairy products, they are having natural sugars. If we are taking nuts, if you are taking legumes, seeds, beans, and milk products, they are a good source of the natural sugar. So if you can titrate your taste buds, I mean, this is just an exercise which you can make your taste bud titrated towards the natural sugar. So just a thin line is there in between those things. If you acclimatize your taste buds to the natural sugar, you will not have sweetness, because the taste of natural sugar is much more good as compared to that processed or the simple refined sugars.
and sir, how good is this for obese people?
Hold on. Here.
Let's
Hajmola.
digest.
you
Yeah,
know you know these are the industrial products they made, and it has lot of salt also. So
yeah,
along with the sugar, salt is also not good for the health.
yeah.
So actually there are five white things you should stop if you want to say bye to the obesity: your sugar, your salt, your white rice, your white flour, and we call it maida. That is a more refined
Wheat.
nature of that flour.
Yeah.
So you should not have stripped grains. In spite of the stripped grains, you should have a whole grains.
Mm.
Or maybe a mix of grain with other grains so that we can mix it up and then we can use it.
Yes, because all those grains, they have a lot of natural carbohydrate along with the proteins also, and along with the vitamins and the minerals also.
And then how good are brown rice compared to white rice?
Brown rice, they are good. They have towards, you can say, moreover towards the natural sugar, moreover natural towards the complex sugars, not the refined or the simple sugar. Even
Alexander,
the in the brown,
so Alexander,
yeah.
do you have brown rice there in South Africa or you prefer white rice?
We have both. Usually as a family, I think we usually do brown rice, depending on the meal. It depends on the meal. But we made a decision a little while ago as a family to sort of shift to more healthier, cut out the carbs and that sort of thing. Obviously bringing it in whenever you need it, and where nothing was wrong with like a snack or a cheat day. But for the most part, we sort of shifted all of that out. Yeah, and lockdown sort of forced us to eat like as fresh as possible and everything. So yeah, I guess it's a positive to lockdown.
Wow. So most people leaped the other way. They went for longer shelf life foods, and all the fresh foods were left to rot at the grocery store.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here going, I wonder if I can go to the grocery store and they give me all the food and I'll can it, right?
No, it's funny.
Right?
Because we actually we sort of have those, we kept those aside in case of something that happened. You just never know. But for the most part, we made a decision to try and eat fresh as much as possible because we're stuck at home and you just don't quite know the future. So we made that decision, which has sort of been the best thing because we get to have like really nice soups, and it's been quite fun.
I agree with this. It's the weirdest things. I think soup must be the next comfort food besides carbohydrates. And we've been doing a lot of soups, right? Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
what's weird is I love chicken tortilla soup. I just,
Ooh.
yeah, it's something about it that because you take all of those vegetables and you kind of grill them a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Get them blackened and a little bit of seasonings, and then you pour the soup in on it. It just, I am that, and there's another Supa Tuscany is my other favorite. Supa
Ooh.
Tuscany. It's a heavy potato sausage. This isn't good. Potato, sausage, bacon. It's the opposite.
It sounds great.
Cream. Lots
All the good stuff.
Yeah. Some spinach. You put a splash of spinach.
Good.
But Supa Tuscany is another one. But you know, talking about all of these foods, gosh, it makes me hungry. It's lunchtime. But I think that we also need to take a look at ourselves, right, Dr. Saggu? We need to take a look at, and I think that was another question that came across that for some reason they're not popping up here, is we need to take a look at ourselves, right? Like you said, that some of us have a means of we eat unhealthy, we can still burn it off, and we still look healthy. I think, guys, eventually that wears off, all right? Eventually you get older and that doesn't work. But so it's better to get in a good habit. Fulfilling our taste buds, I also think you can train them. Like I can eat raw lemons. They taste sweet to me. I think I've eaten them so much that I just a plain lemon, I don't need sugar. Does it taste better with sugar? Kind of, but now the sugar kind of hurts my mouth. So I think we can train our taste buds too, a little at a time, right? And it doesn't have to be a penance, right? It could be, I'm learning to teach myself to be healthy. And the only thing
this lockdown is the best time to train your taste buds.
Yeah.
Because now everything is closed. Yeah, everything is closed. You don't have one available refined sugar along with you. So whatever you have fruits, you have vegetables, you have a salads. You should eat all those things. And I think this is ample time of 1 month. You can train your taste buds in the better way.
I agree. And I'm going to tell you guys something really weird. I went to the grocery store the first time in probably over a month, because I wanted to wait until things peaked out. So I went to the store up to a certain day, masked and everything, then I stopped. So it's been a month and I went Thursday because we were just out. But you know, there is no flour. There's no flour. There's no sugars, actually. Somebody's bought all of the flour and sugar. What are they doing? Baking cookies? So I'm being forced anyway, but I was thinking, you know, we're kind of out of these things. Not that we eat them a lot, but you know, we still like to bake a few things. But no flour, no. But surprisingly, all of that's gone. No fruits and vegetables.
Dr. Saggu, can we discuss about the lifestyle of different people living in different countries and maintaining a healthy diet? Because I think if we compare the world diet with different people in different regions, I think our audience globally would be able to understand that how a person in Africa is eating good foods and still maintaining good healthy diet as compared to a person in US, as compared to a person in India and Africa. Can we create some kind of a show, because so that people will relate with each other?
You know, Ankit, changing a diet is another option, and the other option is you have to change your lifestyle.
Yeah.
So that lifestyle, it not only it includes your exercises, it includes your sleep pattern, it includes your stress pattern, how is your sleep hygiene, how much are you disciplined regarding your sleep, and how much you are disciplined regarding your physical activities. Yes, we should, because you know there is a metabolic set point. If we talk about the metabolic set point, so behind the obesity and the weight loss, there's the principle of metabolic set point. So metabolic set point is a range of the weight where your body wants to be. Like, so if we talk about, there is the person X and her weight is around 120 pounds. Maybe the weight range is 120 to 160 pounds. So the metabolic set point is 120 to 160 pounds. So whenever he or she tries to lose weight, it has tendency to go again towards that limit. Suppose 120 weight and she lost to around 80 pounds, the weight will again go to 120 to 160 pounds. You know, because it has tendency to go to the same range. So if we don't decrease the metabolic met point, you cannot lose sustainable weight. You can lose your weight temporarily, but that would not be sustainable. that would not be long term. So, like if your weight is on, you can say 160 pounds, you do dieting and everything, but you are not exercising, you have not changed your lifestyle, you are depleting yourself for the calories. So for temporarily, you will lose your weight. You can come to 100 pounds, but after sometimes, if you are going down or less than your metabolic set point, then your body respond. How body respond? Body, uh, if your calorie is low, your body's metabolism become very slow. You will feel lethargic. You will feel tired, right? And your appetite goes up. You will feel hungry. So if you have experience of dieting, you will feel after 1 month of your dieting, you feel hungry, you are very, very tired, metabolism is very slow. So again, all those things will take your weight to the normal again, towards 120 or 160 pounds. So now what we should do? If you are dieting, you should combine this dieting with your lifestyle change. If you are doing some sort of physical activities, like you are stretching your muscles, because of the stretch of your muscles, you are having lot of hormones in your brain, and those hormones will keep your metabolism on the higher side. Then your metabolism will not go slow down. Your metabolism will also be fast, and you will lose weight. That would be long term. So it is known that along with the dieting, you should do some exercises also. Physical activity is very, very important. And the morning walk is very important. You should have three type of exercises. You can have a low intensity exercises, then you can have a strengthening exercises, then you have a weight training or other exercises. So low intensity exercises you can have a daily for half an hour, then strengthening exercise you can have a 3 or 4 times a week, then your weight training you can have a once or twice in your week. So you should combine all those type of low grade and moderate grade and the high grade intensity exercises to combine to have a good effect of weight loss. Like if talk about the South Africa, I have a lot of patients over there. One of my patients was there, she was 165 kgs. I would share her pictures also, 165 kgs, and she was not able to move herself. She was using the buggy to go from one place to other place. But now, after the bariatric surgery, now she is 65 kgs. She has lost around more than 50% of the weight. Now she is doing cycling for 5 kilometers every day.
Wow.
Yeah. So if we talk about South Africa, so she's from South Africa. So they also tend to do low exercises. Their physical activity is not much. So if you increase your physical activities, that is good, and have a combination of effect with your dieting.
I
That's
like
a very
that.
nice story.